Now, there is no doubt about it that the Walt Disney Company is in a constant downward spiral for all of their divisions, whether it's Marvel Studios, Lucasfilm, Walt Disney Animation Studios, the list goes on, and also the cost containment plan happening by Disney CEO Bob Iger is not helping at all in the least. Now, looking at the Acolyte, we have Episode 8 about to drop later on today, and already those out there like Leslye, Headland, Kathleen Kennedy, Amandla, Stenberg have engaged in full-on damage control, but more shockingly, Mark Hamill has a lot more to talk about when it comes to his view of the latest The Acolyte series under Disney+. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new, and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. So, we all know that Mark Hamill was a flip-flopper. He is one that heavily criticized The Last Jedi before it even debuted in theaters. Then shortly after it released back in December of 2017 it was. That's where he began to really kind of backtrack on his comments after Disney reached out to him. Then he claims that Disney did not reach out to him and fully supported Rian Johnson. It was just a constant back and forth with him. Well, not so shockingly, he is, of course, nowadays more or less of a lapdog for Disney/Lucasfilm, for Kathleen Kennedy and everything that she's doing over there. And it's not a big shocker. I mean, look, you guys can say whatever you want to say about Mark Hamill. I'm not a fan of the guy as an actor based on what he has said in recent months. But what's interesting about this moving onwards has a lot more to say about his overall stance on the Acolyte series and the ongoing criticism, the backlash, whatever have you. Now, with the Acolyte Episode 7 considered a deal-breaker, even for supporters of the Acolyte, the ongoing backlash has only been getting worse for Disney and Lucasfilm. Now, one major development now has more to do with actor Mark Hamill going against the fans since the backlash over the Acolyte has hit a world record for Lucasfilm. Hamill delivered the following. Well, hey, look, I mean, when I came into Episode 7, it was a time when fans were reasonable, when they used to have morals and have respect for those at Disney, and I understand that it's not my time anymore as Luke or carrying that Skywalker legacy, but with the latest addition that came to the Star Wars universe with the Acolyte, I have noticed the fans have changed, and not for the better. They are louder than ever before and spit the most unreasonable opinions that should remain silent. I'm serious when I say this, that much of the criticism that Kathy, Leslye, and the rest on the crew are getting and dealing with, it's those fans that are creating so much noise that need to really just shut it and keep quiet, because it only creates an inflammatory mess for what they are planning to do forward. I had my time as Luke, and it's time for Kathy and other creators to do their own thing, and it's pretty clear fans have a serious problem with that going into these new shows and films. I don't see anything wrong with what Kathy and Leslye are trying to put together with this show, and I so happen to catch a few episodes of it, and I just don't understand what the fuss is about. For many fans, I think those morals are just gone, and they don't have any ground rules for how to act in a professional way anymore. Kathy is doing her thing, and everyone should respect that for what it is. I actually support Leslye for looking up to Rian and what he did with The Last Jedi and Luke's story, and how she could find a craft or a way to craft that into her own tale. But these inflammatory takes, these opinions by so many fans, are just unnecessary and coming from a place of no reason other than to hate on something. The loud, noisy takes on the show need to just stop and have to go on mute for a long, long while, because it's not what Lucasfilm deserves in this moment. They are telling a story and they are telling a new tale for a different time in this world that we have never seen before, so I respect that, and I give them my full support. Now guys, let me just say one thing about this before I move on. Now, I'm not shocked that Mark Hamill is supporting the Acolyte and backing up Disney and Lucasfilm. The man has truly changed over the past couple of years, and when you look at what he talks about on Twitter /X, especially when it comes to the ongoing criticism related to, Disney/Lucasfilm over the years, we all saw how he reacted based on, after what happened with The Last Jedi, and how he began to back that movie up after he heavily criticized it. I think that's when he lost a lot of credibility, when he tried to unite the fans by going against Disney and then just kind of losing that edge. and among other reasons, and valid reasons why a lot of fans do not like Mark Hamill at all. But there's also a lot of other things going into this. The fact that he is saying that the criticism is unnecessary, and it's something that Lucasfilm does not deserve. Well, no, I think that deserves everything. I think that Lucasfilm deserves it all, based on what they have done to this brand that was so heavily beloved by fans, that has been such a high status thing in pop culture that is now no more. I mean, now when you look at Star Wars, you just kind of laugh at it. It's not what it used to be under George Lucas. It's not what it used to be with the prequels and the originals. Sure, you may have had some exceptions here and there under Disney, but it's very, very small when it comes to what they have done successfully. That has, of course, been received very well by fans. Moving on. He goes on to conclude, and quite frankly, I think it makes other Star Wars fans look bad, and enhances the stigma that's been there for so many years. I support Kathy and Leslie all the way through. I got the chance to speak to her a couple of times, and she is just such a visionary who wants to warp George's vision in a different, unique, and crafty, artsy way. I don't see that as damaging the brand at all, and I'm happy she got her chance to tell a new story. It's just disgusting seeing how the fans are reacting this day and age with the usage of social media. So again, I mean, yeah, put the blame on social media just for the sake of it. There you go again. Not a big shocker there as well. But there is an obvious problem with Leslie, with Kathy, with the Acolyte, and we all saw what Amandla Stenberg did with that diss track video on Instagram. These are the types of people that Lucasfilm hire. So for Mark Hamill to say that fans are acting in an unprofessional way, which is just ludicrous to begin with, who talks like that, right? Who even says that? But the fact that we have someone like Amandla Stenberg posting a video like that on Instagram, and among others before in the past, like Freddie Prinze Jr., who laughed about Gina Carano getting fired from Lucasfilm and how he thought it was hilarious the way that Kathleen Kennedy just booted her out of there like no tomorrow. It goes to show you that they really have no shame at Lucasfilm, that they have no care in the world, no remorse about what they're doing, how they treat some people, how they view the overall Star Wars fans and their criticism of what's been going on in, the past couple of years with the franchise, whether it's the movies or the shows. But overall, not a big shocker that Mark Hamill is trying to keep things leveled here when it comes to the criticism, and saying that everyone needs to shut it, everyone needs to keep quiet, the inflammatory opinions, quote-unquote, need to be locked in a vault, so to speak. But overall, Mark Hamill really isn't relevant anymore. I think that we could all agree on that right now. He's not relevant. The Skywalker saga is done. It's not coming back. It's not moving forward. You may get a little Luke cameo in CGI form in the Mandalorian movie, but that's about it. The Skywalker saga is in the past, and you know what? When you look at the sequels, they don't necessarily count as far as I'm concerned. But overall, I would like to hear what everyone has to say about The Acolyte Episode 7 and what looms now for Episode 8. This is the finale tonight. It's all gonna finally be over, and we can finally put it behind us. So overall, guys, drop a comment below. Fill me in below in the comments what you all have to say about this. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.